Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is the fifth Indiana Jones movie to be released, and is I guess, sort of sequel to the 2008, I think, 2007 movie, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That movie, obviously being 15, 16 years old at this point. It's been a while since the last Indiana Jones movie. A movie that was speculated for a very long time and then announced a long time ago and now finally given to us. I was pretty excited for this one. I had higher hopes than I feel like I should have with this movie. Obviously, long-awaited sequels and reboots normally disappoint, and especially a lot that have come down the pipeline recently haven't been the greatest. But you know what, Indiana Jones, I had more faith, honestly, in this than than most. Just because, one, the director change, I actually thought that was a smart idea. Look, I love Steven Spielberg. The original three movies are great. They are, there's a lot of reverence towards those movies, and for good reason. They are great, and they are some of the best adventure movies ever, ever. They just are, and it's kind of like a perfect trilogy. But Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was a big misstep with a lot of people who were involved in that movie. And Steven Spielberg recently, besides The Fabelmans, has kind of, I felt like James Mangold was the perfect choice for this, especially, with like Logan and then Ford versus Ferrari. He felt like the better fit for an Indiana Jones movie. With Harrison Ford's age, I feel like this is probably the last Indiana Jones movie we will get. That's not like a spoiler for anything that happens, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like this is the last adventure you'll ever see Indy go on. And with that being said, I really liked this movie, actually. I got a lot more out of the Dial of Destiny than I even thought I would. It's not great. I'm not going to say it's like one of my favorite movies of the year or anything, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was a lot to like with Dial of Destiny. So, one, Harrison Ford's performance, he did great, honestly. For how old is he? He's like in 70s, 80s. He's pretty old. For how old he is, he put in a really great performance, and it felt like he cared. Like that's a thing that you don't get much of nowadays. Is a fully there Harrison Ford who is fully into the movie, but he felt like he cared about this and gave a really solid final performance. The girl from Fleabag, I don't know her name, but she did really, really good. I at first kind of felt off about that casting. I don't know, kind of felt like strange to see her in an Indiana Jones movie, but she did really, really well. I actually really liked her. Mads Mikkelsen was pretty good as a villain. The villain is one of the complaints I have about this movie. He felt very standard. Like, he felt very normal. Like, he felt like a villain that we've seen before. We've seen this kind of menacing, soft-spoken, very evil Mads Mikkelsen villain hundreds of times, and it just felt like that, but in like an Indiana Jones filter. Like, I don't know, I feel like they could have gone a little bit more with him. I feel like he could have been more sadistic. He could have, had more evil intentions, but I don't know. To me, he just felt a little bland, and he didn't really service the story better. He was functional. He was fine. He was just kind of there. But the main selling point for me with Dial of Destiny is it took all of the muddled stuff that bogged down Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and just kind of gutted it. Like, it wasn't, this movie is very simple, it's very to the point, it doesn't try and fit Indiana Jones into something that it's not. This movie gives us exactly what we want to see. Indiana Jones on a kind of thrilling, a little creepy, of an adventure that is satisfying. Like, this movie is just satisfying. It's extremely fun. It's very well directed. There's a lot of really great shots in this movie. I felt like a lot of really good shot composition was put into this movie, which was a really nice touch. I really, really liked the scenery, and the CGI didn't look all that bad. I don't know. This movie is a very visually pleasing movie, and it helps that it's so much fun. There's a lot of really great set pieces. There's some legacy characters that are brought back that are really well done. And I don't know, this was just a really, really fun adventure movie. Like, it is everything I could have wanted out of a modern Indiana Jones movie. It wasn't trying to be too much. It wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel. It wasn't trying to be another Raiders. It is just really solid. This is a solid Indiana Jones movie that I ended up really liking. So, I don't know if I have too much else to say because it is just a very solid action movie. Um, there's good storytelling. The writing wasn't all that cheesy. All the performances were solid. It just wasn't remarkable, if that makes any sense. Like it's not going to stick out like the first three movies do. Like Raiders, Temple, and Crusade were all different from each other. They all had different tones. They all went for different subgenres. They were all trying to tell a different story just within the Indiana Jones universe. And I think that this movie isn't doing something new. It isn't pushing the envelope like those three did. It's definitely, safer than something like Kingdom of Crystal Skull, but it doesn't go into a ditch like that movie does. This movie just is very streamlined and is very consistent, and I liked that about this movie. I actually felt that as kind of a detractor from it, but also what made it pretty good. So yeah, I'm going to give Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny a pretty strong B. I liked this movie quite a bit, but it's not going to make my year-end list or anything like that. But it was still pretty solid. So let me know what you guys thought of this movie in the comments. Actually, I'm thinking of doing an Indiana Jones ranking of some sort. We shall see with that. But yeah, other than that, I will see you guys with the next review.